Welcome to Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast.
We are back with Around the Rinks, episode 10. I am Noah, joined by Brendan, Kylee, and Reece. Milestone episode, guys. How about that? Look at us go.
Double digits.
Like, big time. And, you know what? Episode 10 might as well have probably the biggest news, probably this season, with the Arizona Coyotes, with their possible relocation to Salt Lake City, Utah. How about that? Like, that is bazonkers, but like bazonkers, but like it's expected. I say bazonkers, but like it is kind of expected. But like just a week ago, they revealed their arena. It's like their plans for arena and all that. So it's like, okay, finally they might be staying in Arizona. All signs were leading towards that. Then just yesterday, oh no, that ain't happening. And
yeah, what a roller coaster this past week or so has been for Arizona hockey. Sucks. Like, super exciting news coming out. It's really interesting. I'm excited for these guys to not have to play in like a college rink. I mean, it's not much of an upgrade. That rink in Salt Lake City, I think, seats 13,000 or something.
It's still going to be better than Mullet Arena.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be good. It's like obviously not officially signed or anything yet, but it sounds like this is legit.
And with that was probably the biggest. Even if the Yotes do get the land auction win, it's still going to be another 3 years at Mullet Arena, which is just not good for anybody there. So, and for Utah's arena, I forget what it's called already. They're going to have to do a lot of renovations. They've already said that they have to do a lot of things to make it NHL compatible, I guess.
Yeah, because it's built for basketball,
right?
So there's going to be seats in there.
So you're already going to miss a lot of seats too,
yeah,
on the floor and whatnot. So it's going to be even smaller arena. So I'm curious what it's going to look like by the end of it. So that's why they're doing this deal now. So they have the rest of the summer to figure out how they're going to do it all. But yeah, this is just it's a tough situation for everybody, like all Yotes fans and
all three of them,
and the players. Yeah, and the players didn't hear much about it either. Like, there's reports there. Yeah, it's been kind of like,
shocked them
what's
all.
going on, right? Yeah, they've heard most of the news from social media, which is the best way to learn news, right? So it's kind of weird. I'm curious. We'll see. I think it's April 18th is the day we can see this happen. So by next podcast, we should have more news on it, hopefully. But you guys have any name ideas for Salt Lake City or Utah? I don't know which one you'd go with, but
Kylee, take it away.
Salt Lake City Soakers, 100%.
Oh boy.
I vote that one too.
Yeah, you vote that one too.
Yeah, 100%.
There's some. I was like looking through the comments, and there's some creative people out there, like with jersey concepts and logos and whatnot. And the Yetis is one I saw. I'm not sure if I'm too big on that. I forget the other one. The Stags.
Sasquatch.
Don't even know what that one is. Yeah, stuff like that. Olympians, I think I saw another one. These are all, and Ryan Smith, who's the owner of the Utah Jazz and that arena, he did send out a survey on his Twitter for people for name ideas.
What a cool move, too.
Like, this guy is pure
Seems
cool.
like a homie.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice having an NHL owner that wants an NHL team. Like, he seems committed, really committed to wanting hockey in Utah. And it's just great to see. It's something that maybe you don't see much in Arizona, for example. So it's good to see a owner committed to hockey and wanting really just a team in their city, right?
Yeah, and to spend as much money as they're projecting it to be.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, what I've heard is the league is going to buy it back for $1 billion, which basically turns those owners a $700 million profit. Mm-hmm. And then sell it to Utah for $1.3 billion. Make $300 million off of it. Not a bad deal.
$300 million. The Yotes are making $700 million.
Yeah.
It's
and then for the next 5 seasons, they have the opportunity to open an expansion team in Arizona, because then they can buy this land, build the arena, and have all that go on, and then they can expand the team out there. And bring in a 33rd team, which kind of sucks because I was thinking about this. You lose all of your history statistically if you do that. Like, then Shane Doan is the all-time leader for the Utah City Soakers, and then this expansion team in Arizona has nothing.
Yeah.
True.
Which kind of sucks.
It does, yeah. And now you have like that Josh Doan kid.
Yeah, right. Like he's supposed to be
born,
the future of Phoenix and all this stuff, and now he's just going to Utah.
Yep.
Like that sucks.
And I hope they do win that auction and eventually come back.
Yeah.
I love hockey in the desert. I feel like that's a good.
I think it's a good spot to be, especially like look at all these people who live around here. Like so many people go down there for the winters, right? Like you're gonna have a strong hockey base if it's like around the cities and like in a normal place to go watch a game.
Yeah, and you're starting to see kids grow up in Phoenix and Scottsdale and the Arizona area.
And, yeah, they have so many hockey programs for youth now, right?
And there's people making it to the league. Austin Matthews most notable, but there's a bunch other coming through the development programs, and it's just good for the league and bringing youth up
for sure.
And now this is one goofy rumor I saw with how the divisional and how all the divisional changes are going to work, because I saw that Avs will go to the Pacific and both Alberta teams are going to the Central.
Oh, what?
Which is maybe the craziest thing I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's all going to work, because where are you going to put Salt Lake City? Are you going to put them in the Pacific then? Because it's hard to look at that on a map, but
they've kind of dug themselves a hole with this, because like I was looking at like geographically, and there's such a giant group of teams on like that eastern side of like the continent, that on the western side, I have to do this all in my head. The western side, there's like such a small little group, and then it's so spread out.
Yeah.
So then like if an Alberta team moves to the Central, they're moving like 3,500 kilometers or something, I think it was, to go play a divisional game in Nashville.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
It is.
Well,
and
why Yager didn't want to come play in the West, right?
Yeah, the West
played for 13 teams, but all
it is so
12
weird.
of them were in the East.
Yeah.
And already having bad travel, like it's going to be pretty much doubled for like if they go
Same
move
thing. Go to
Central.
Dallas for a
yeah,
division
exactly.
game?
Like
Come on.
That'd be
I don't know. And then you also lose a Vancouver rivalry. Like there's no divisional rivalry there anymore. I mean, it's still there obviously, but it's
Gary hates Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see that happening. It shakes things up way too much.
I also don't see it happening.
I don't really know how they're going to do it, because it doesn't really make sense how it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, because even already Phoenix being in, or Arizona being in the Central kind of already doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Just like even Colorado in a way, like it's so hard to map everything out. It's, I don't know, in the Eastern Conference, everything's so close to each other, so it's pretty easy to like split a line in between everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And the Coyotes Twitter page is so funny. Like I love it more than anything else. After all these rumors dropped, they're like, "We are committed for Arizona to stay in Phoenix." And
but that social media team they have there is like crazy. Like they were literally like tagging the arena designs like at the mayor of the city, who said like, "Yeah, we're not having an arena bill here," and they're like tagging him in their Twitter posts and stuff.
Yeah. One thing I liked is Logan Cooley scored the OT goal last night. It's the 73rd goal since the end of February for the Coyotes, which is the most out of any team in the National Hockey League, period.
Wow.
Is what the Yotes set out. So it's like, well, that was kind of a random stat line. And it's like, yeah, we want to stay here. We're a sick team now.
Yeah.
Look at February. Before that.
They went out and, like, for those guys playing in that game last night against one of the best teams in the league in Vancouver, like, they go out, win that game. Like, that's got to be... I feel bad for those guys. Like, this so long, like, moving all over the place, all over the state, pretty much. Like, they're just getting jostled around, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, are we going to be staying at this college rink for the next 4 years? Boom, you're moving to Utah. Like, crazy. I feel bad for those guys and their kids. And
I have kids in schools and whatnot, and just bought houses there, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like, am I buying or am I renting a house here for the next 4 years? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's all weird situation there.
Just a big stain on the league. Hopefully it gets figured out here right away.
So, who do you guys think... Like, there's going to be guys that don't want to go to Utah.
I don't know. I don't think they really have a choice, do they? Like, if they're a free agent, then sure, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like Salt Lake City is a great city to go to, right? So, I don't know
Never
much
been,
about
don't
it,
know.
right?
Yeah, like
so
if you're signed,
I feel
you're
like it's just
signed,
such
right?
a
like-
huge down. Like, let's say you're Clayton Keller. Like,
Totally.
you're going from living this AZ lifestyle all your career,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh yeah, boom, you're going to Utah.
and he's
like,
probably been
have
one of the
fun.
biggest like advocates of staying
Exactly,
in Arizona.
right? So, do you think that is something where he's like, I gotta request trade. I can't.
I
I
don't
don't want
know.
to do this. Like, I think there is gonna be some guys on that team that are like, nah, I want to live in Florida. I want to go somewhere where it's actually like how it is in Arizona.
I agree. Well, and I don't know. Like, do you guys know about the state taxes? Because isn't
No,
Arizona
I have no idea.
one of the ones without it? Or am I crazy?
I'm not
It's
100%
Nevada.
sure.
I also don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not going to pretend to know, but
If
I was
so,
hoping
that
that I
would
could toss
suck.
it out here.
Yeah, like if that was the case, like that would
Like, even
suck.
more reason to just be a little bit choked about the
Yeah.
whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably losing like a couple million.
Yeah. Overnight, bang.
Yeah. Interested to see how that all plays out. It'll be an interesting summer. Like,
Yeah. Okay, and their last game of the season is in Mullet Arena against the Edmonton Oilers as well.
yeah, that's gonna be an
It's-
Oilers home game too.
That is, or no, it's in Mullet Arena.
yeah, but it's gonna be
Oh yeah. I see what you
4,500
mean.
Oilers
Yeah, yeah,
fans.
yeah.
That's what's gonna suck.
We're
Yeah.
gonna hear
It's
the
gonna be
"Let's Go
the-
I don't
Oilers"
know.
chant.
It's gonna be this goodbye Arizona.
And it's just
like,
Oilers
hey,
let's
fans.
go Oilers.
Oh my
fans.
god. Because there's so many people in Edmonton out in Arizona.
Yeah,
It's kinda
at least
crazy,
you
but-
got the classiest fans in the league out there.
But yeah, that's a mark your calendar type of date right there. As that's gonna be a hell of a game. That might be
Yeah.
the last game in Arizona for a while. So
And they buzz in that Mullet Arena. Like, it's
I-
not like
I-
they've played bad hockey the
I
last
would
couple
love to
years.
go see a game in Mullet
Me
Arena.
too.
I feel like that'd be electric.
I'm kind of
Pod
bummed
trip?
that I missed out.
Pod trip around the rinks in Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
Last
Live on
game
the
of the
scene.
season. Yeah, that'd be something.
Be a shame. I would
Maybe
hate
if we won
that.
the
Oh,
lottery.
no.
Oh god.
Maybe if we get sponsored.
Yeah, Big Nate might pay for us.
Big Nate, come on, please.
Your viral podcast needs a trip out to Arizona.
Yeah, let's move to the playoff race in the East right now, which is probably the biggest headline right now. Is these 5 teams? Nobody wants to win it.
No kidding.
Nobody wants to take it away. And Philly had it for so long. Now they're on an 8-game losing streak. And like even last week, I think, oh, Philly's making the playoffs. Nope, they fell off the face of the earth. One team that is kind of making headway in the standings is the Islanders. So Patrick Waugh in the playoffs. He's finding wins. I don't know. They're with 87 points right now, 2 ahead of the Caps and 3 ahead of Pitt and Detroit. This can all change tonight, though, because all 5 teams are playing. So
Yeah, it's
it
a
will
fun race.
change. Everything will change. And I think it's Pittsburgh and Detroit are having a game tonight, which is probably one of their biggest games of the season, because that will probably determine who's in and who's out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you guys so we have the Islanders, we have the Capitals, we have Pittsburgh, we have Detroit, and we have Philly. I'm not sure if you guys want to pick 2 teams out of those 5 you think are going to make it. Yeah, Reece?
Pittsburgh and the Islanders play in the last game of the regular season.
That too. Damn. So they're all having pretty close games, like pretty intense games coming down the stretch. Me personally, I think I want Pittsburgh to make it.
That's
Yeah.
my pick.
That's
too.
totally
Gets
my
in the
pick.
playoffs.
You have to, right? And trading away Gensel, then making the playoffs. You still have a great defense with Letang and Erik Karlsson.
Yeah.
And then Sidney Crosby's a different breed right now. So
And Michael Bunting's almost
and
a
Michael,
point per game
yeah,
player.
Michael Bunting's
Heyo.
he's the next Chris Kunitz. There he is. It all works out.
I would like to see like Pittsburgh and like the Islanders in it, but I don't know how that will work out with them playing each other. I don't know if that kind of eliminates one of them
Yeah, I
when
don't
they
know.
play each other. So
The Islanders could take it away because if they just win a couple more games, they will be in it, and they have that couple point cushion right now. So, yeah, like you said, that does hurt if they both make it, because that'll probably be my picks too, the Islanders and Pittsburgh, because I want Patrick Waugh in the playoffs. So I feel like that'd be hilarious. But same with Philly. Philly would be another one. Torts.
Torts would be fun.
It's
That
done
team
now.
is imploding on itself.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't know if they come back from that.
Yeah,
It's been a little rough for Philly for sure, but I would also go with Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Like, And especially for the Islanders, I really don't think, like, me and Noah were talking about this, I don't think the Islanders are much different than they were when they were going to all those Eastern Conference runs, or
Not at
Eastern
all.
Conference final runs.
If
like,
anything, they're better.
yeah,
right?
honestly,
Like,
adding
Which is a real
Horvat.
curious situation.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in
And I
New
mean,
York?
you get, like, legit goals. Like, if Sorokin does what he does,
Yep.
like, he can steal you a couple games. If you get a good couple games out of Barzal and Horvat, like, they could honestly make some noise.
Noah
like,
Dobson, like, playing best he's ever played.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, this team is better than when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Seriously.
So,
And I think they're finally all healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I think all year they've had, like, a
totally.
pretty depleted
Last
defense.
couple years, right?
Yeah.
Like even when they missed the playoffs, that was a tough team. They were going through it. Even COVID year, they had a lot of. They got
like,
hit hard
Anders
with that.
Lee was out a lot of
Yeah,
last year.
he's still having injury troubles. I'm pretty sure, but yeah. So it looks like if Islanders do stay in that position, it would be Carolina against Islanders for the first round. That'd be an electric performance or series.
I want to see Carolina, Pittsburgh. I
Yeah.
want to see Sidney Crosby score the overtime winner, beating Jake Gensel.
Oh, that would be a storyline and a half. How about Michael Bunting scoring?
Yeah, true. That whole storyline is a little crazy. Like, Carolina signs him in the offseason and trades him at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And they sign him to a 5-year deal, I think. Like a 5 times 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Then they
that
just kick
doesn't
him out.
happen very often.
No, but like when Gensel falls in your lap like that,
definitely.
Yeah.
you know, it turns into quite the buyer's market. And
Who has been
Well, and especially,
like he's been insane.
like 20 points in 12 games.
Yeah.
Like,
He's-
like,
I
sorry,
saw
Mikey, but you're
a
leaving.
little around the rinks rumor
Ooh.
that he was finding such good chemistry with Aho and who's he playing with? Teravainen?
Yeah, I think so.
Aho and Jarvis. He was finding such good chemistry with those
Yes,
two
Jarvis has
that basically they were thinking about maybe just moving Nikas or Svechnikov out this summer and actually moving that money to sign Gensel.
Yeah, Jarvis is becoming insane player.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
and he's got one of the best personalities in the league. How can you not love him? He's so fast. He's such a little in-your-face type of guy too.
Yeah.
And he could score. So like, he has it all. And yeah, he's been working well on that team. He's having a great year.
He really panned out. There's like some of those guys from like those COVID years that you didn't really expect much out of, like when they were playing junior and stuff, and then all of a sudden they pop in the league and they're just like so like ready to go right
Yep.
away. Like Wyatt Johnston too.
Yeah, Dallas is another team very similar to Carolina. It's just like stacked.
Seriously.
Full top 6 or top 12 even. All right, like from forward to D, they're insane. Of course, goaltending, they're both great. Freddie Anderson's been
Lights out.
lights out.
I saw that
from
he
his
was
yeah.
he was the fastest goalie to 250 wins or something like that.
That's a weird stat.
Yeah.
Huh.
I would have never picked Freddie Anderson.
Yeah,
over that
right.
guy.
But he was on like a good Anaheim team before they like really fell off.
Yep.
A good Toronto team,
yeah.
and now a really good Carolina
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
like,
that honestly makes sense. Yeah,
kind of crazy though.
and ever since he came back from his injury, he's 8-1-0 with a .954 save percentage.
Ew.
It's like
That's
he's
terrifying.
Yeah, he's a great goalie. Like he's always been a great goalie. It's just injuries always hurt him. I'm curious how he will play for a full playoff run. That's probably the only scary thing.
Yeah.
I'd be if I was a Canes fan. But yeah, good playoff push here in the East. It's kind of exciting to see. I'm not sure if you want to say anything, Brendan. You got your 2 teams.
Yeah, no, I think same thing. Islanders Pitt to just make such good content out of this. But the Canes and Svechnikov. Did you see that Michigan goal he scored?
Oh
the
my
ref
God.
waved off.
Yeah.
No one thought he went in. No one thought it went in.
The only guy on the ice was him.
Yep.
And they're like, well, no, of course you thought it went in, and review it.
Yeah.
Back bunk right out. Come on, that was insane.
My favorite thing about that is Swayman after the game. He's like, I wasn't gonna let us Michigan goal for the rest of my whole career, and of course that happens. It was like, damn, that was insane.
Tough go.
It's been a while since he scored one. Feels like, but he always
Yeah.
scores them.
Yeah,
I feel like
He's
that's his like 3rd or 4th one
I
now,
was gonna
right?
say,
Like,
at least a couple.
yeah,
He's a guy that I think has way more skill than it seems. Like he's
Totally.
so good, but he doesn't really have he doesn't produce like as highly as he should. Like skill-wise, pretty much. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but...
Yeah, I get it. I like... What did he use, a third overall? Second overall? Like,
yeah, I think third. Or maybe he was second.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember now.
I think remember what draft
in the Darlene draft?
Darlene, Svechnikov, then Kotkaniemi, I think it was.
I'm going to say that's right.
Yeah, look at me remember.
How did Carolina have a second overall pick?
They suck.
Yeah, they did. No, they did.
Yeah,
I think they must have. I think.
I guess
I don't
so.
remember.
Oh,
did good in the lottery, I guess.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that too. Huh.
Speaking of goalies having a bad game, I felt pretty bad for Adin Hill last night.
Yeah.
He did not look like he was in good shape.
I don't know.
He looked like he got injured, and then he played the rest of the game, which I was surprised. I'm impressed that they didn't pull him also after like 3 or 4 goals.
Well, who's their backup? Because I know Logan Thompson is out with an injury, so that's probably why they didn't yank him.
Yeah.
I think he's a European guy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was Hill's first game back from an injury too. I think he missed like 19 games or something.
And then Fogle it was just kind of an awkward stick between his legs.
Yeah, I feel like his vision that whole night was like off. Even like when they were like rimming it around the boards or shooting it off the boards.
He didn't look like he was in it.
They thought Holloway was his own defenseman.
Yeah, I don't even remember that one.
Because Holloway went and just took that puck from right behind him.
Yeah.
Hill just
whoever didn't rush to that puck, like what a rip on them. Like Holloway, I love how Holloway played last night.
Yeah, totally.
He's got some confidence now.
I love seeing him come back and just light it up.
That open spot now because McDavid's out, like he just kind of filled it in and played really well.
Best player on the ice last night.
Like when you're coming in from the AHL, you have that extra burst. Like first game back in the NHL, he definitely had that tonight. And
I saw clips of him. He looked like he's been playing great in the AHL. And I also wanted to give a little golden star to Nuge because Nuge, I was trying to guess with my dad who would step in for that Bouchard pass back and then someone comes up with it. Usually that's McDavid, right? And we kind of guessed Nuge would do it, and I really liked seeing him do it. Obviously, it didn't turn into a goal, but I liked how, he's a vet of the team. He's always been on the team, and I think I liked how he stepped up and took McDavid's spot in that play because I didn't know if they were either going to scrap that play or switch someone into it.
Same with Draisaitl. I feel like he's had like a couple rough weeks now, it feels like. Yeah. And he really stepped it up last night as well. Did he have 2 or 1? I think he just had the power play goal.
I saw today that he had 2, but I thought he only had 1. No.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
And then CC first goal of the night, that surprised me.
That was his 4th of the season.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like he's scored more. Like I feel like CC would have more this season.
CC.
I feel like he scored more.
I think last year he went I think he only had 1 goal last year or something.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
I think
he hadn't scored for 2 years until last month.
Yeah, I don't know.
Poor guy.
Yeah, for some reason I thought he scores a lot more crappy goals just out of nowhere.
He scored the game winner in Game 7 against LA.
I remember that.
That was his last goal for a while until I think it was it was either last month or February was the first time he had scored since that goal. Something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what they made it sound like when he had scored.
But good boost for the depth last night, being able to pull off that win without the best player in the world, right? For a guy. And, you see it every single time. You saw it for so long in Pittsburgh with Malkin stepping up whenever Crosby was out, right?
True.
Every single time McDavid's been out, Draisaitl becomes a totally different player.
Totally.
Even him, last night, he's rushing the puck down the ice. Maybe he does that every once in a while, in the games. But, it was probably 4 or 5 times in the first period alone last night that I saw him grabbing that puck, circling down low and coming up. That's so good to see, especially, going into playoffs, getting some of these guys, more touches, especially, McLeod, who had an unreal game last night. Yeah. Ekholm's been on a crazy run.
Career
these
high
guys,
goals.
Career high in points.
He has 7 goals in his last 18 games or something like that.
What a rock star.
It was awesome to see all those guys buzzing around last night. It's sick. I love that Perry, McLeod, and Holloway line. They're so much fun to watch.
Yeah, because Holloway and McLeod are so fast, and then you got your vet there who can make those good passes and those plays. I love that line so much, and they definitely produced with Holloway, right?
Yeah, and people forget, too. Corey Perry was, a Hart Trophy winner. He's a very good hockey player. He's just 36. Like, that's the thing. It's a lot of skill on, like, this Oilers team.
It's nice to see that, like, people keep saying, you know, like, McDavid is the Oilers, like, da-da-da-da. It was nice to see that we can produce without him, and not only, like, a one-goal game. We wiped the Knights last night. Completely wiped them. They only got 1 goal on us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was shorthanded, whatever, kind of stung a little. But, like, we wiped them. It wasn't like it was a close game at all, and we didn't even have our star player.
Yeah.
And Stu. Just so good.
He was locked in for the first and the second.
Henrik Lundqvist picked Stuart Skinner as his third best goalie going into playoffs.
Wow.
In the Western Conference.
Oh. Okay.
So out of 8 goalies, they included Thompson and Hill, though. Because I don't know why. That seems kind of stupid, but...
Just
still,
like
for a guy, he was ranked above Ottinger. Like, Henrik Lundqvist giving Stuart Skinner some flowers like that. I love to see that stuff.
There's no slouches there, too. Like Hellebuck, Soros, Demko. Like, there's
exactly.
names.
He was ahead of Demko and Ottinger.
Yeah. Wow.
I love to see Stu getting his flowers. He's been so good since, like, November.
Yeah. No, rough start, but... And... For the Oilers, like how the tune has changed since last pod, and we ride the roller coaster with the rest. But you know the sky is falling, and since then 3-0, Avs, Flames, Knights. You know, 2 very top end teams, and they outscored them 15-5.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm going to the game tomorrow too, so it'll be a good game.
Who are
Not
they
a big
against?
deal.
Who are they against?
Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and they figured Connor probably sits tomorrow.
I
and
would
keep
sit
him
him
fresh
too.
for Vancouver.
I mean, this is like the time that, like, the part of the season where you do start resting players,
100%.
right? So,
I wouldn't have a problem with him sitting out the rest of the... As much as it would suck to see him sit at 99 assists,
he'll come back and get it.
He'll come back for the Vancouver game at least.
I'd be pretty cool with him playing in that last game in Mullet.
yeah.
And just like, that's it.
Vancouver
Hi,
game.
Bombior. See you later.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I thought that once he hits 100 assists, I feel like that's when you start sending him out a couple times. But, you know, he has an injury now, right? So now it's like play it safe as much as possible.
They said that this like wasn't the same injury as what kind of kept him out for a little bit in November, or in October.
It was like lower body, they said.
Yeah, but this is like in the last couple games, like you could see him like working his leg out, like on the ice, just like right in between his hip. I think he's got something going on there, and like as much time as that dude needs to rest, like I'll donate whatever body part of mine he needs. Like,
well, they clinch home ice now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're fighting, I guess, for Vancouver. You have one more head-to-head with them for the division, but I mean, if you don't, you're playing one of the same two teams. So, what's it really matter? I guess, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up next, because you have 2 games in hand in Vancouver, and you only need 4 points. You win those 2, you're tied. So right now you're looking against the LA Kings, of course, with the win over Vegas. So it's either Vancouver or Vegas. Or not Vancouver. It's LA or Vegas who you're going to go against in the playoffs. Doesn't really matter. You're getting home ice either way, I think. Yep. So I don't know which team you would rather prefer. I'm not sure if the Oilers like how they did last night. They want Vegas more, or...
I think Vegas is the bigger beast, honestly, just because they killed our streak. You know,
in a way,
they knocked us out before. So I'd rather us go up against LA again. We beat them twice. We can do it again, easy. 3rd time's a charm.
3rd time's the charm.
Makes me nervous.
LA might be saying that same thing.
I know. I don't like the number 3. I don't. But Vegas has just become a bigger beast after the trade deadline. Like they just went crazy.
They're not.
Hanifin.
They're struggling still, though, right? Like they're struggling.
So Vegas, what is it? Vegas has what's their lead on St. Louis right now in points?
It's not much because I saw it's 3 points. And
3 points, and
Vegas,
I think they have the same amount of games.
Vegas
played.
does have a game in hand.
Yeah.
So it's very unlikely, but if Vegas keeps
Vegas plays Colorado and the Wild, but they also play the Blackhawks and the Ducks.
Okay.
St. Louis got the Hurricanes, the Kraken, and the Stars.
So
okay.
Oof.
So we might want to put this one to bed.
In between.
Yeah, I know. I saw St. Louis like the team like tweet out like the score of the Edmonton game last night with like, little eyeballs. Like, it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible.
They're the only team left in the West that's not eliminated, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be so awesome.
Vegas, like, I don't know. It would be like hilarious if it happened. I don't think it will.
If would Vegas be the least? Would they have the least amount of points? Like, would they be playing like the number one in the West, or would they be playing?
They would be playing number one in the West. Yeah.
So did Dallas clinch that?
Not yet.
No.
I don't think. Actually, yeah. Wait. Let me think. So there is a chance that Oilers could be, or Vancouver could be playing Nashville then. Because, I think you're right. Dallas does have the top.
Dallas has 4 more points than Vancouver.
Yeah, I think they may have clinched. I think they may have clinched top.
Not as close as they can, but yeah. So I don't know. Dallas versus Vegas in a first round series, that is going to be unreal to watch.
That would be.
And then
that'd be crazy, actually.
Vancouver plays Nashville.
Yeah, that'd be another great series. I feel there's only good this playoffs.
Colorado, this is
playoffs.
So excited.
Unreal season that we've gotten to witness. Like,
because the teams that are there that are clinched are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gonna get even better.
And it's a Boston-Toronto matchup, pretty much.
Florida, and that can change too because Florida can catch up to Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy, I'm a little bit behind on some of these standings.
No, I messed up.
It changes every
too.
I know
every
night.
And even when this podcast come out, like all the games are probably going to be over in the East.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all going to be different. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe Detroit's in the playoffs, right? Like all that can be happening. Who knows? It's going to be kind of crazy the next couple days.
Yeah, seriously.
And playoff starts April 20th. So next pod we'll probably do our little playoff prediction. Mm-hmm. We'll do something like that, but it's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited. I'm probably going to be watching most of the games, not probably all. I'll make sure, but I know. It's exciting playoffs. I haven't been excited for a playoffs in pretty much a while, and even this race in the East, it's gonna be hyped up, right? Like 5 teams battling for 2 spots. That's great storylines right there.
Speaking of playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminated teams from the playoffs. I was watching that Ottawa, New Jersey game last Saturday, I think it was. Unreal game. I've honestly never seen a player take over a game like Brady Tkachuk did that game.
Oh, that was his 16 hits, right?
16 hits. Yeah. Like, he had one shift where he dummied whoever it was onto the bench for New Jersey, sent him flying over the bench, gets off the ice, gets back on, scores, face off, loses it, dummies Holla. Like, it was ridiculous. He was taking over the game, and then the dying seconds, he puts it in a little bit after the buzzer goes, and you know how these empty nets go in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Tkachuk, gloves off, skating at him at center ice like Sparta. It was unreal to watch. That was a fun thing to witness.
Didn't he set a record?
Yeah, or I think he tied. I think the record's 17, but he had 16, and that was the most since 1995 or something. Insane. 16 hits is crazy.
That is mental.
Yeah, and they
must
were
be sore.
Yeah, it's not like he's giving nudges either. Those are he flipped a dude in the bench. That was crazy.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an exciting thing, even for these lower teams now that are calling up these. I'm gonna bring them up. Yari Slavkovsky, absolutely electric this last couple. I know you were, but to be fair, all that entire 2022 draft class is showing up now. Logan Cooley's been insane with Arizona, and Shane Wright. He just got brought up by Seattle. He's been
playing unreal.
I was going to have him down.
Yeah.
Is he here?
Yeah,
5 points in those last 4 games?
He's been great.
I hope so.
He's one of those players that's how did 4 teams pass up on him? Or it was 3 teams. I think he went 4th. I don't know.
It was that draft day scenario.
Yeah, totally.
Bo Callahan.
Yeah.
It was the craziest. This guy had this guy had none of his friends at his 16th birthday party. Like, it was so crazy.
I was one of the guys who just I wanted Shane Wright in Montreal so badly. And then once he passed, he was like, okay, he's going second. Oh, wait, he's not going second. He's going third. What? No, he's not going fourth. What? And Seattle, I feel like they got a gem out of him. But again, Arizona also got Kylee, who's been also really good. I don't even remember who went second now.
Nemec.
Yeah, Nemec. Yeah, and he's a great stud.
I think New Jersey couldn't really take another center.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that draft class is looking really good now.
Yeah, seriously, and like the same with Lafreniere and who's in that draft? Byfield.
Byfield.
No, was that
no?
Kakko?
Yeah, Byfield won second. Tim Stützle went third.
Yeah, like these guys are really starting to come into their own. Like it's been nice to see like this little start of the shift, right? Like every couple of years you go through this thing of like one day Nate Dogg and McDavid and Kucherov and all those guys are kind of going to be on the cusp of moving out, like kind of where we're seeing Crosby and Ovechkin right now.
Yeah.
And these guys like Kylee and Slafkovsky and these younger guys are going to take over the league, and it's really starting to come now.
Yeah, this is the wave.
I do want to bring up a guy named Steven Stamkos, one of your favorite players, Brandon. I remember
I have him wrote down.
Who has been insane this season. I think I wrote this down a couple days ago, so it might be a little different, but it's 39 goals, 77 points, and he's a free agent this offseason. And there hasn't been much talks, if any, really, for re-signing him.
It's kind of been scary
It's
on there.
really scary. Usually, with like a superstar player like that, you almost extend him right off the bat when he's on that 1 year deal. You get him extended.
Especially with them extending Brendan Hagel.
Yeah, who has been
lights out. He's been
right?
sick, right?
Did you see his quote about Kucherov in his season? Because I just got my 200th point, like in my career, and Kuch has almost got that this season alone.
I love Hagel so much. I feel like I love that trade that went to get him. They spent a lot on him, but it's turned out to be really good.
Yeah, seriously, hometown boy.
But yeah, do you think Stamkos stays in Tampa?
I think he's gotta.
I know he wants to.
But it doesn't feel mutual.
Yeah, it doesn't feel mutual at all.
No.
Well, he seems like a side task to them, right? Like he's
not the top guy.
Oh, well, I mean, like they're not going to want to pay him. Like what is he making right now? Like 8 something?
Yeah, I'd say somewhere in there.
Like he could probably get like I might sound crazy here, but for a team like Boston who needs a center that bad, I think he could get like 11 times 3. Like, and he might be pretty old now, but like
guy puts puck in
I don't hate it.
He's got almost 40 goals. Like, how many points did you say?
77.
Yeah, like add him into a line with Pasternak. Like, I think there's a lot of teams that would pay him a lot of money to come in and be pretty damn good.
A guy with a couple cups on his resume, gold medals, like he's a winner, right?
He's a first liner and almost every other team, right?
Yeah.
Like
I think he could get a lot of money on the open market, but I do think his number one priority would be to stay in Tampa.
And it's so weird how we haven't heard much.
Yeah.
Like, and it's clearly an issue, right? Like, I think I remember Stamkos talking about it.
Yeah,
like
it was over the offseason.
Yeah,
and they kind of just shut it up once the season started going.
He wants it done, and I don't know if they're just waiting to see the results of the playoffs, maybe. Because they're making the playoffs now. Maybe they're waiting for the season. Maybe they're like, are we making the playoffs this season? They didn't have Vasilevsky for the first part of it, right? Yep. So maybe there was a lot of question marks on how the season was going to go. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like Tampa's going to be a scary team in the playoffs.
The first round matchup with Boston as it sits right now.
That'll be fireworks.
Go for Boston.
That would
be. They have 107 points right now, and you have to go up against Tampa.
Seriously, like,
ouch.
They've got to, like when there was 21 teams in the league, 16 teams made playoffs. Like, it's, I think they've got to kind of adjust something somewhere and have like, and you obviously can't go back to a 1 versus 16, right? But like a 1 versus 8, I think was pretty damn good to not have these juggernauts go out so early. Like, look at that. Who is it? Colorado or Dallas and Vegas?
Yeah.
Like, one of those teams is going to be out in the first round. Same with Winnipeg and Colorado. Like,
but the Winnipeg Colorado one, that one's a tough matchup. Vegas hasn't played good enough. Like, even if it was 1-8, it'd still be probably Dallas, Vegas.
Still the cup contender, sorry, not cup contender.
I see what you're getting at though, with like what happened to Boston last year.
Actually. Yeah, right.
Like Florida just took them out.
Yeah. I don't really know, but I think that it is just you're kind of losing such good hockey in this, like, so fast, so quick, that all of a sudden you get to the third round and it's like, oh, well, like, these teams aren't really, like, that exciting. Like,
no, I agree. You should be rewarded in some sense. Putting up 107 points.
I still think out of every other major, like, league in sports leagues, I think it is still the best playoff format.
Yeah,
like some other, like NBA for example, that one doesn't make any sense.
I don't want
to me.
I still don't understand that.
Yeah,
like,
I
don't want the seventh seed in the playoffs to have to play the 10th seed to see who makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the regular season.
Maybe they do something like a first round bye and maybe have a wild card.
I don't know.
More like baseball in that sense.
The NHL's also missing out on more money too. More games, more money. Like, why? That's a good idea for them.
That's one thing Elliot Friedman brings up a lot, and he's talking about he wants an expanded playoffs. He wants even more teams on the playoffs.
Keep on growing the league.
I don't think that's like the craziest thing.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. And people crap on him all the time for it, but he's really stern on, like, he thinks this is best for the league. I feel like it's great for teams and other players, and I'd love it. More hockey, right?
But I do think they need to stop adding teams before they do that. Like, we're getting to a point now where, like, it's starting to become a watered-down product. Like, a lot of these guys are really good. Like, don't get me wrong, NHL players are really, really good. And there's probably guys that can step in there from the AHL and be really, really good. But, like, we're getting down to some of these teams, like, are pretty bad. And, like, it's really the worst it's ever been, having 32 now.
Yeah, Buffalo. Just looking at, like, the top end to the bottom end, it's not even close.
Like, there's a lot of, like, Frankenstein teams, I feel like, now, where they're like, oh, well, we need a guy, so let's just pull from here and do. Like, it's starting to become a bit of a product that's like, meh.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Definitely could be more even.
You know what I liked? COVID year, the qualifying round. I did not hate that at all. I was a big fan of that. Like,
that was 21 teams.
It would have been 24.
Yeah,
definitely
not 21.
I think it would have been 24.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think it was 24 teams made the playoffs, and then they had the qualifying round for best of 5. I liked that. I didn't hate it at all.
Yeah.
I feel like you have the top teams be right there in the first seed, and then you have the wild card teams battle it out, and it's chance to play in the playoffs. I don't hate it. I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll give the league more money, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If anything, it's not until they expand. And I think they are going to expand the league. I think up to 34 probably. We'll see eventually. Like,
in the not so distant future, I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's too far away.
I heard that the plan was to go to 36, and I think that's a crazy number.
I think it is too.
The regular season is 2. They're gonna, like, I don't know. They got to make the regular season shorter, I think. And you can't do that if there's 36 teams. Like, you're not going to be able to play everybody twice and still have divisional rivalries and stuff. Like,
yeah, I don't know how that's all going to work. I guess we'll figure it out in the future. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of more teams. I think 32 is a lot. Like, and now we have kind of confirmation that Arizona might come back in the next 5 years, right?
Yeah, so you basically got a 33rd team.
You have 33 teams already kind of in plan. Then, Houston wants a team. I don't think we'll see Quebec City again. Atlanta is another one.
Who's Mike Greer, I think. Or
Anson Carter.
Anson Carter, that's who
Carter.
it is. Yeah.
That's racist.
Sorry, it was brutal. But Anson Carter has been a part of, like, this big group to try and bring hockey back to Atlanta. Yeah, and he's a part of the TNT panel.
Yep.
I know Anson Carter. I messed up, okay?
Who did you say?
You're good at books.
What?
They both played on the Oilers. I'm pretty sure.
100% they did.
Yeah. It was a simple mistake.
Yeah, he has a whole group of millionaires, and he's already made a pitch for going to Atlanta. And I third time's a charm. How about that?
I don't know. It seems ridiculous to me. But
I feel like we've talked about this already, but more expansion teams. I don't like it, but if it's going to make more money for the league and make it a better place, I guess.
What do you do? As long as we can keep Connor around and the salary cap keeps going up.
Yeah, frick. I mean, if they keep selling him for $1 billion, like $1.3 billion for a team. I think Cates bought the Oilers in 2007 for $300-some million.
Yeah,
like,
isn't that gross?
Like, I think that guy, the owner of Arizona, like just bought that team like 6 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
And if he's turning a $700 million profit, he bought that team for $300 million 6 years ago.
Honestly, I wouldn't have thought Arizona would be sold at $1 billion.
Maybe they see like potential or something.
That is crazy. I mean, yeah, it's a team. That's the main thing.
I'd be interested if like a buyer would have bought it for $1 billion, or if it's basically because the NHL is buying it.
I think that's a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And just like refund all the rest of the owners the money that they've been spending to keep them alive.
We want you out of here now, so just we'll give you this, but here's also this.
Yeah. Then the Ryan Smith Entertainment Group or whatever, they have all the money in the world. So I mean, they own NBA teams, so they can buy multiple NHL franchises if they feel like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's all interesting. It's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting.
I'm excited to see what we got. 4 minutes left already, Tim. I'm gonna bring up a funny story. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. It was the Capital One Arena, Senators and Caps against each other, and the sun was shining right in Giannis Korpisalo's eyes. The funniest thing I'm not sure if we've ever seen that before. I didn't even know there was windows in Capital One Arena.
What are the chances that one window led directly to the goalie's eyes?
Right in front of him. There's like a spotlight on him.
Small little window too.
And yeah, it was like all the way through the staircase door, and they had to like get black curtains to cover it up. Did you see that, Brendan?
I did not see that.
Really,
actually.
It was the funniest thing ever. And Korpisalo's like, "What's going on?" It was like arms in the air. It was like
a phone on the angle,
in
his eyes, but just the sun.
I'm surprised the Capitals haven't used this in their advantage before.
Okay. Maybe they have been.
Maybe they have been, right? I don't know. That is just so funny because I know Climate Pledge Arena has windows in the arena.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised we haven't seen anything from that yet.
They black that out for the game.
Do they?
Yeah. They bring curtains over the.
Yeah, like I think that's pretty much the same for a lot of rinks. Like, I mean, look at Rogers. Like when you walk in there, once they like start the pregame shows and stuff, everything is curtained off and stuff, especially where those windows are and everything. So I think somebody just messed up.
I don't know. It's just
someone lost their job.
The odds of that though is just like having this tiny little tunnel and having just sunlight go right in his eyes. Pretty much the spotlight.
Poetic.
It's hilarious. It looked like it was because people were coming down into their seats and the curtain wasn't pulled back.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Everybody get down to your seats. We're closing this curtain to keep the game going.
I'm not sure if you guys have any other news to bring up.
Matthews.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 66. A bust and I hate him and the Leafs stink, but he's the first player since Mario in 96?
Yeah, probably.
To score 66. That's insane.
Pretty ridiculous.
On pace for 70.
On pace for 70 now.
It's crazy what busts do in the league these days.
Yeah, seriously.
There's going to be no more rumors of Matthews going to Arizona.
Oh, right.
Until
5 years. Hey, hold on. Hold on. Everything's starting to line up when his contract expires.
Exactly. He knew about this.
You heard it here first.
Matthews insider deals right there. Let Toronto pay him a lot of money, and then he's gonna go to Phoenix and light it up there. Go to his hometown because that's how it works. Every player has to go through their hometown team, right? So
by that time, McDavid will have won 3 cups in Toronto.
And then right? Oh my god.
I do have one more thing. Yep. Just a little. The Windsor Spitfires have the first pick in the OHL draft this year.
Mm-hmm.
They picked Ethan. I have no idea how to say his last name. Belchitz.
Yep.
He had 84 points in 34 AAA games, whatever, young kid. He's listed at 6'5", 230 pounds.
At 15
He's
years old.
15 years old.
Shouldn't this guy be playing football instead? Like, damn.
This guy is a actual alien.
Yeah.
Like, how are you that skilled at that size?
By the
that age?
By the time he's 18, he's going to be twice the size as Brendan.
Oh my god, he would eat me.
He already is.
That's bigger than Slavkovsky.
Oh, that's bigger than almost half the players in the league.
He just put grooves in the ice like
that's
Lucic.
Right.
That's pretty dang close to that Zach Edey in the NCAA tournament, 7'4". I think he was like 300 pounds, but I mean like he's only 6 or 15. Like he's gonna put on another.
We played against
25 pounds at least.
In like my bantam draft. I know I'm probably not supposed to say that anymore. Was it you?
No,
16?
Is bantam? Is bantam's? No, I don't know.
It's all gone.
Okay,
but
I don't know.
we played against a kid in Red Deer, and he was like listed at 6'2", 2 something. Right, but this kid couldn't skate. He couldn't stick handle. He couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So for this guy to put up 84 points, are you kidding me?
He's the first
so scary.
First overall pick in an OHL draft.
Like fast I'm bailing out of those corners if I see him coming on me. Oh, dude, no chance.
He's probably going against like under 5 foot kid still, right? Like he's 15 years old.
I want to see him and Matt Arempe go at it.
Just another quick note. Another exceptional status, the second one in WHL history. Going up with Connor Bedard, Landon DuPont.
Yep. First defenseman in WHL to make it.
And like the list of guys that have gotten this exceptional status, there's really only one that like didn't really pan out, like Sean Day.
Sean Day.
Yeah, he didn't really turn out into what they expected. But these guys go through like so much like testing and like character like evaluation on like if they're able to do this, like they're interviewing their teachers and stuff. Like these guys are just I think this kid seeing some of these videos and stuff of him in these like high level tournaments, he's 15 or 14 or something.
Is that the kid from Edge?
Yeah. Like this kid, he's so young. We're talking about him 21. It feels so like little right now, but like he's gonna be sick. Like some of these stats, and as a defenseman, like,
Everett Silvertips do have the first overall pick, so that is there you go.
Goes to an American market. I think that's kind of good actually. But I mean, like watching him, he kind of reminds me of Cale Makar, and having another little Western Canada boy like that.
Also a great name.
My feelings.
Yeah, Landon DuPont. Like that's a
pretty sick name.
Yeah, no, that kid's gonna go far.
Yeah, a name like that, and so.
But they'll probably be. Oh, I guess they won't be the same draft year if they're getting picked.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be.
Yeah, because he's gonna be a year after.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's a look ahead. For
interesting, yeah. Like keep an eye out for those two.
And he has Celebrini this year. It's a lot of rookies coming through right now from Canadian markets too, right? So, okay, well, I think that's gonna be it for Around the Rinks. Thank you for listening. Share everywhere.
Tell your friends. Tell your mom.
Friends, tell your mom.
Tell your auntie. Tell your sister.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
That has been another episode of Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast. We'll see you next time.